Hey everyone, welcome back to World of Warcraft Classic Hardcore and our Human Paladin. I appreciate you joining me today, and I hope you are all doing well. Today we are making our trip through the wetlands over to Menethil Harbor. We'll explore the town for a bit once we get there, and check out the vendors, maybe read some books if we can find any. And when we are ready, we'll set sail to Aberdeen and begin our campaign through Darkshore. We're heading north of Thelsamar now, so let's get started. We'll enjoy a bit of rain before we enter Dun Algaz. We should have a quest to turn in and possibly something to take care of along the way to the harbor. Not exactly sure where the quest is turned in, so I'll turn our UI back on for a moment. We are at Algaz Station right now. Let's just check inside and make sure we're not missing anything, but it could be through the northern pass. Okay, I don't think it's anything within the station itself. Let's take a look real quick at the quest log. Fort Mountaineer Rockgar. Yeah, looks like he's at Dun Algaz, and there he is, right outside the pass.
What's on your mind?
Hello, Paladin. You're here for the scouting mission, aren't you? Very good. I hope your gear is in good condition, because this scouting mission has changed into something more messy.
See you soon.
The Algaz Gauntlet. Orcs of the Dragonmaw clan have a haven in the wetlands, and now they have expanded into Dun Algaz. We can't let them keep their foothold here, or Loch Madan will be cut off from Menethil Harbor, our port and stronghold in the wetlands. Break through Dun Algaz to the wetlands beyond, and kill some orcs for good measure. Report to Valstag Ironjaw in Menethil Harbor. Menethil is through Dun Algaz, then north along the road, then west at the fork. We're counting on you, Sedelian. Do not fail. Alright, so we have to traverse Dun Algaz. I guess that's part of the quest. We have to kill some scouts and some grunts along the way. Which we will do. This is a pretty dangerous quest, from what I remember.
Be good.
Let's get rid of these buffs that we received. This one's going to be tough. These orcs are no joke. So, while it would definitely help if we could complete this quest now, since heading back to the southern wetlands is a little bit of a pain sometimes, it might be something that we skip for now. We'll try to single out one of the orcs, and we'll see how the fight goes. One of them I believe will patrol across the road. Here and there, he'll like walk across, kind of sit on the hill on the other side, and then walk back. So we might be running into him anyway. And I probably don't expect to see other players in this area. There is a dead body though, so maybe somebody just passing through. Yeah, so you got an orc up there. It's a pretty dangerous spot, and yeah, they're level 19, 20, and 21, most of them, so I'm going to go ahead and say that this is not even going to be worth it. I'm not even going to try. There will be a quest at a later date that will send us somewhat south in order to take on the Mosshide Knolls, which we're definitely not going to be ready for either right now, but that'll be the time where we can pick up those scouts and whatever else we need. Yeah, the grunts as well. So this is definitely going to be the first time that I'm coming back to that quest at a later date. I almost always handle that on most hardcore characters, even not even just regular playthroughs, but I normally just handle that right away. So we are going to take a look and see if we can find the bog elemental that I think his name is the Green Warden or something like that. It's a little bit north before we hit that fork in the road. I just want to make sure we pick up his quests before we go to the harbor, just so that we have them on us for the future. A bit foggy in the wetlands today, but I do not see any rain, so let's go ahead and boost our nighttime ambience a little bit. Get that classic swampy atmosphere. There are a few things that can drift pretty close to the road. Some crocolisks, maybe some spiders here and there. We'll see if we have to fight anything. It'll be a decent test to kind of see what our armor can take, especially now that we have the shoulders and the new rank of Devotion Aura. And I'm definitely very excited to explore a brand new town, especially one as big as Menethil Harbor. Definitely one of the bigger Alliance settlements. I think we might be getting close to the point where we're going to have to jump off the road a little bit here. It might be behind this hill. We've got a crocolisk down below. Yeah, this looks about right, so we're going to have to jump off the road and do a little bit of exploring. Let's see if we can find the Green Warden. There he is, simple enough. I feel like it'd be pretty tough to come across this quest giver here, Rethiel the Green Warden. Because I don't think you get a breadcrumb for this guy at all, so my knowledge is definitely coming in handy there. Tramping Paws. The Moss-Eyed Gnolls have lived in the wetlands peacefully for many years, but now grow in numbers. Their feet stamp flat that the fens bushes and flowers, and their foul axes cut too much wood to fuel their fires. They are no longer in balance with the land. For the wetlands to survive, the gnolls must be reduced. Kill 15 moss-eyed gnolls and 10 moss-eyed mongrels. hunt them to the south, near the dwarven gate of Algaz. After you do this, return to me. So that's pretty cool. So this, I would assume Rathiel here is somewhat of an elemental guardian of some kind of the wetlands, seeking to keep, I guess, balance in all forms of nature. It's kind of cool reading that quest text because oh boy, hold that thought. And stun the croc. Let's keep running. Alright, I think we're okay. Something I have forgotten, those hidden bog elementals can sometimes, litter these streams in between the more major bodies of water. But yeah, I found that quest text interesting because it really made it seem like the gnolls really aren't bad, or I guess they're not unwanted. They're just getting a little bit out of hand.
Oh, do I have a deal for you?
A vendor in the middle of nowhere. Mr. Kixel here, but he doesn't have anything for us. And we have an additional quest here to pick up from Inar Stonegrip.
Talk to me.
Daily delivery. Greetings, traveler. Don't suppose you might be heading in the direction of Menethil, would you? If you're not, I'd suggest you stop there. It's a good place to purchase goods and even have a pint and relax. Now, if it just so happens that you're heading in that direction, I don't suppose you'd mind taking this bundle of crocolisk skins to James Halloran, the tanner. I do it myself, but my wife's been in quite a mood lately, and I'd like to put off facing her as long as possible. Sure.
Hey, good.
We'll take care of your errand for you, Mr. Stonegrip. And maybe we'll see your wife somewhere in the harbor. Let's keep our eyes peeled for a Stonegrip within town. It would be really funny if you could interact with her somehow. And the lighting in the wetlands is so interesting sometimes. The way the sun just hits the swamp. And the moon as well. Especially around this curve heading towards Menethil Harbor, there's just, I don't know, the sunsets here are really interesting. That is a dead crocolisk. That's good. We'll see if we can tag at least one on the way to the harbor. Just want to see how we do against something that's right on top of our level. An abandoned caravan here in Turl Arakor. Got some boxes, nothing to interact with though. Wonder what Turl there is used for. We have arrived. Welcome to Menethil Harbor. Alright, brand new big town. We've got a lot of stuff to explore. Let's keep an eye out for Stone Grip's wife. Really interested to see if we can find some dialogue there. Valstag Ironjaw. Oh, you know what? I think he's the one we need to talk to once we complete the orc-related quest at Dun Algaz. We've got Neil Allen here, engineering and general goods supplier. We got that 8-slot bag. I could have swore it was 25 silver each, but maybe it's slightly cheaper now with certain people, maybe. It's good to know that the 10-slot bags are almost 2 gold each. That's very steep. But we're going to be saving up. We've got a full rested experience bar for this whole level. And once we hit 21, we're going to purchase a new weapon, so we're going to hold off on buying anything, but I definitely want to take a look at everybody's wares and what they have available. Got a sentry in this room. Typical barracks setup. We do have some chairs to sit in. Typically when we've entered these types of fortresses, we don't typically see anything else that we can interact with. We have a quest here from Red Jack Flint.
What can I do for you?
This one's an interesting one, and I might want to pick this one up. I suppose we'll read it first, but I don't tend to complete this one because it's very awkward. So Fiora Long Years. Oh, to be at sea once again, to feel the kiss of the wind, and to have the waves rock me like my blessed mother long ago. Oh, I wish I had your fortune, good paladin, for I see the sea in your future. It's my job to tell eager souls of the land of Kalimdor, the land of opportunity. If you're willing to try your luck across the sea, then take a ship here to the lovely port of Theramore. Speak there with my partner, the elf, Fiora Longyears. She'll start you on your Kalimdor adventure. So I'm actually very interested in this because I don't typically do this. The Theramore is within Dustwallow Marsh, which is a like level 35 to 45 zone.
See you around.
And honestly, you're not really going to touch that place until level 40 at a minimum. So I was always confused as an Alliance player why I got this quest at like level 20. But the more I think about it, I'm starting to wonder if they send you over to Ratchet. Because if that's the case, that would make a lot more sense to me. Because there would be quests in the Barrens if the Alliance could perform them. That would be around level 20 to complete. So that is definitely interesting. We're going to check that out for the first time. I've never done that quest before. I've never met Fiora Longyears unless, she's had a quest, like a different quest to offer up. But we'll go ahead and do that first before we go to Aberdeen. We're probably not going to get to do too much in Darkshore today. But I'm sure we'll at least get there. Yeah, so typical fortress stuff. I think we're just going to head downstairs and get out of here. Doesn't look like we're going to find anything interesting. And we'll hook a left over here. We'll pass the stables. We got a quest to turn in anyway. Horse breeder Unger Stet Fourth.
Well met.
This is where you can buy the Black Stallion, which I believe you cannot buy from the Eastvale logging camp. Very popular one for most Alliance players, I would imagine. Luckily for us, we get a much cooler mount, and we get it basically for free. Let's turn in our quest with James
Light
Halloran.
be with you. Light bless you.
Hello there, good paladin. Could I interest you in a pair of boots? Perhaps some newly cured skins?
For the Alliance.
This is from Einar, right? Hasn't delivered his skins to me in person for almost a week now. No doubt it's some differences with the wife. Maybe I'll have my wife go speak with Sita sometime. Aha, okay.
Go with honor, friend.
So we have a name, and I definitely know who Sita is. She actually gives us a quest. I'm James Halloran, the tailor, the tanner. My cured crocolisk skins are sought after all over, shipments leaving by boat to ports around the world. Met Einar? He's one of the hunters that brings crocolisk skins for me. I'm a bit short on the softer skins that come off crocolisk young. Being that I'm running low, I'll pay you top coin for a stack of the skins. You can find the young crocs in the marshes right outside of town.
For the Alliance.
Yeah, I think we're good to pick up some of these quests. We might have to drop some quests here and there depending on how full our log gets when we get to Darkshore. You know what? If I'm being honest, we should probably just drop anything that we can get in Meniful Harbor. We'll just leave these alone because I think we're most certainly going to run out of room in our quest log. We're going to pick up at least 10 quests, I feel like, by the time we get into Aberdeen. Nothing within this home here. Okay. Mother dealing with her children. Apparently one of them has climbed... Oh my goodness. One of them has climbed the wind tower. Look at that. Miss Halloran has come outside. You get down from there right now. I don't want you climbing that thing. It's not safe. See what I mean? Get inside right now. What is he supposed to, like, fall off or something? Never ever picked up on that before. That is ridiculous. Let's head inside this bigger house here. We've got a herbalism trainer. It's a night elf. Guess he's a butcher as well. And we've got alchemy supplies. And quite the music shift on this side of the house. Interesting. Certainly not complaining, but it's definitely odd.
Hi, how are you?
Tailoring supplies. Probably nothing that we can pick up. It is actually something we should look out for, though, if we find cloth vendors that sell cloth gear. They might be the ones that have cloaks that we can purchase, so we might want to keep that in mind. Because that may be where we get some of our cloak upgrades. Got a chest over here that can't be interacted with. Some sentries on the dock. Don't see anything unusual outside on this side of town. As far as the docks themselves, we got a fisherman, of course, trainer and supplies. Got a quest here from Carl Boren. We're going to leave that one alone, along with the others. Let's make sure we grab the flight path.
What can I do for you? Have a good one.
the stable master, and we have reached the inn at this point. I'll save the tavern for last, though.
Hey there.
Got Fletcher
Looking
and
for something
Bowyer.
Be careful.
Katsida. We'll talk to her a different time. And we've
What's
got
on your
more
mind?
general supplies. Yeah, take a look at that. The brown leather satchel here cost 25 silver. I believe it was 22 silver within the keep. Yeah, and the heavy brown bag is at 2 gold. I wonder if that has anything to do with reputation. Because we are honored with Stormwind. Does that mean that we get like discounts from human vendors? That would be super interesting if that was the case. And I have no reason to believe that that is not the case. Caitlin Grassman. You are nothing special, apparently. And nothing else to see in there either. It looks like we do have a blacksmith here.
How are ya?
Gunsmith. Ooh, we got a weaponsmith. Interesting, a level 20 weapon. Oh, that's the main hand, though. I wonder if that's the same in town. We can buy the maul here as well. 1 gold, 10 silver, so that is good to know. But now I'm starting to wonder if we go back to Stormwind, if this maul would actually be cheaper, since we're honored with Stormwind.
How are ya?
And I wonder if the same goes for the armor as well. This guy only sells the polished scale gear. Just basically looks exactly the same as what we got on. It's just white instead of like black.
Keep your feet on the ground.
But I think I mentioned in the previous episode the armor gain is just so minimal. Like if we have to wait until like 30 to get another piece of, another set after that, then maybe we'll consider it, but otherwise I just don't see how it's worth it.
I've the finest wares in the land.
We've got a tradesman. We've got a ton of named NPCs, but most of them cannot be interacted with, including the bartender. Interestingly enough, we've got the innkeeper in the back.
What's on your mind?
Let's make this our new home.
Safe travels.
Menethil Harbor is I feel like, Alliance players, let me know in the comments below, where do you typically set your Hearthstone? Do you typically change it? And obviously if you're a mage, you don't really care, but if you're not a mage, do you typically set it here as well, or do you set it elsewhere? Are you sporadic with it, or do you just set it to like Ironforge or Stormwind? I just feel like, how can you not set it to basically the only location that takes you to Kalimdor outside of Booty Bay, which is, very annoying to get to. So we do have a book here, the Kaldori and the Well of Eternity. This is a pretty long book. Let me take a sip of water. Let's get through it. It's 12 pages. We've read longer, I think. All right, 10,000 years before the orcs and humans clashed in their first war, the world of Azeroth cradled only one massive continent, surrounded by the infinite raging seas. That landmass, known as Kalimdor, was home to a number of disparate races and creatures, all vying for survival amongst the savage elements walking of the waking world. At the dark continent's center was a mysterious lake of incandescent energies. The lake, which would later be called the Well of Eternity, was the true heart of the world's magic and natural power, drawing its energies from the infinite great dark beyond the world. The well acted as a mystical font, sending its potent energies out across the world to nourish life in all of its wondrous forms. In time, a primitive tribe of nocturnal humanoids cautiously made their way to the edges of the mesmerizing, enchanted lake. The feral nomadic humanoids, drawn by the well's strange energies, built crude homes upon its tranquil shores. Over time, the well's cosmic power affected the strange tribe, making them strong, wise, and virtually immortal. The tribe adopted the name Kaldorai, which meant children of the stars in their native tongue. To celebrate their budding society, they constructed great structures and temples around the lake's periphery. The Kaldorai, or Night Elves as they would later be known, worshipped the moon goddess Elune, and believed that she slept within the well's shimmering depths during the daylight hours. The early Night Elf priests and seers studied the well with an insatiable curiosity, driven to plumb its untold secrets and power. As their society grew, the Night Elves explored the breadth of Kalimdor and encountered its myriad denizens. The only creatures that gave them pause were the ancient and powerful dragons. Though the great serpentine beasts were often reclusive, they did much to safeguard the known lands from potential threats. The Night Elves believed that the dragons held themselves to be the protectors of the world, and that they and their secrets were best left alone. In time, the Night Elves' curiosity led them to meet and befriend a number of powerful entities, not the least of which was Cenarius, a mighty demigod of the primordial forest lands. The great-hearted Cenarius grew fond of the inquisitive Night Elves and spent a great deal of time teaching them about the natural world. The tranquil Kaldorai developed a strong empathy for the living forests of Kalimdor and reveled in the harmonious balance of nature. Yet, as the seemingly endless ages passed, the Night Elves' civilization expanded both territorially and culturally. Their temples, roads, and dwelling places stretched across the breadth of the Dark Continent. Ashara, the Night Elves' beautiful and gifted queen, built an immense, wondrous palace on the well's shore that housed her favorite servitors within its bejeweled halls. Her servitors, whom she called the Kaldorai, or Highborn, doted on her every command and believed themselves to be greater than the rest of their lower caste brethren. Though Queen Ashara was loved equally by all of her people, the Highborn were secretly hated by the jealous masses. Sharing the priest's curiosity towards the Well of Eternity, Ashara ordered an educated Highborn to plumb its secrets and reveal its true purpose in the world. The Highborn buried themselves in their work and studied the well ceaselessly. In time, they developed the ability to manipulate and control the well's cosmic energies. As their reckless experiments progressed, the Highborn found that they could use their newfound powers to either create or destroy at their leisure. The hapless Highborn had stumbled upon a primitive magic and were now resolved to devote themselves to its mastery. Although they agreed that magic was inherently dangerous if handled irresponsibly, Ashara and her Highborn began to practice their spellcraft with reckless abandon. Cenarius and many of the wizened Night Elf scholars warned that only calamity would result from toying with the clearly volatile arts of magic. But Ashara and her followers stubbornly continued to expand their burgeoning powers. As their powers grew, a distinct change came over Ashara and the Highborn. The haughty, aloof upper class became increasingly callous and cruel towards their fellow Night Elves. A dark, brooding pall veiled Ashara's once entrancing beauty. She began to withdraw from her loving subjects and refused to interact with any but her trusted Highborn priests. A young brazen scholar named Furion Stormrage, not Malfurion Stormrage. A young brazen scholar named Furion Stormrage, who had spent much of his time studying the well's effects, began to suspect that a terrible power was corrupting the Highborn and his beloved queen. Though he could not conceive the evil that was to come, he knew that the Night Elves' lives would soon be changed forever. That's a good one. That is a good one. I feel like I knew most of this stuff, but there's definitely some notes in here that I definitely did not know about. Like the dragons coming before the night elves, which I guess makes sense in a way, but I just feel like I've never heard about the dragons brought up in any way.
Can I help you?
Outside of like very dragon specific lore, but not so much like interacting with the other races of Azeroth. We got an archaeologist here from the Explorers League. It doesn't look like we got too much more going on in the tavern at the moment. Now we got another book here, The Battle of Grimbatol. I feel like there's always a book on this table in every inn that we go to. And we've got a first aid trainer, Fremel Doohickey.
Hey!
Can still pick up that anti-venom if we want. Otherwise, we gotta wait until 1:15 to pick up the heavy wool bandage. Let's open up this Grimbatol book real quick. 4 pages? Yeah, we can definitely read this one. Meanwhile, in the war-torn lands of the south, the scattered remnants of the Horde fought for their very survival. Though Grom Hellscream was his Warsong clan, and his Warsong clan managed to evade capture, Deadeye and his Bleeding Hollow clan were rounded up and placed in internment camps in Lordaeron. Notwithstanding these costly uprisings, the camp's wardens soon re-established control over their brutish charges. However, unknown to the Alliance, a large force of orcs still roamed free in the northern wastes of Khazmadan. The Dragonmaw clan, led by the infamous warlock Nekros, was using an ancient artifact known as the Demon Soul to control the Dragon Queen Alistraza and her Dragonflight. With the Dragon Queen as his hostage, Nekros built up a secret army within the abandoned, some say cursed, Wildhammer stronghold of Grimbatol. Planning to unleash his forces and the mighty red dragons on the Alliance, Nekros hoped to reunite the Horde and continue its conquest of Azeroth. His vision did not come to pass. A small group of resistance fighters, led by the human mage Ronin, managed to destroy the Demon Soul and free the Dragon Queen from Nekros' command. In their fury, Alexstrasza's dragons tore Grimbatol apart and incinerated the greater bulk of the Dragonmaw clan. Nekros' grand schemes of reunification came crashing down as the Alliance troops rounded up the remaining orc survivors and threw them into the waiting internment camps. The Dragonmaw clan's defeat signaled the end of the Horde and the end of the orcs' furious bloodlust. Alright, another interesting book. So this book, I guess, it's kind of hard to tell at what point in the war this took place, because the book definitely makes it seem like it's the end. But there's still some Dragon Ball available, and I believe, if we open up our map, this whole section here on the very eastern side of the wetlands, I think you can find red dragons over here. Maybe I'm completely insane and just like not remembering that correctly, but like I've never been over here. I've just heard stories about this area. Maybe one day we can explore this area. I would like to. I'm just terrified that there's going to be like elite enemies over by this area. But this would be where Grimbatol would have been in vanilla, I think. Because this is right around where it is in Cataclysm. I think. It's like right over here, you know, where the, I forget what they're called. But that big zone here. Another interesting book, though, for sure. And that's going to do it for the tavern, I believe. I don't think we have any other quests to pick up. So our next step is going to be head to Theramore. I would like to meet this Fiora person. And I would like to see what she has for us to offer. If she sends us to Ratchet, I'm definitely going. I've never experienced quests in the Barrens from the Alliance side. If they do exist, I'm not even sure if they do or not. I would have to think that there are some, because Ratchet is a neutral site.
Hey there.
Hello, Adam Lind. You can find passage to Theramore from this dock. Heed my words. Those lands are rarely safe to travel for people of the Alliance. Watch your step and your back.
Have a good one.
Well, yeah, of course, outside of the Night Elves, and of course Theramore, Kalimdor is just a one big chunk of Horde territory. I feel like, at least. We are going to have to wait for the boat, though, unfortunately. I don't think there's anything else that we can go over while we wait. We do have some extra bandages, but I don't want to sell any or vendor any just yet. I feel like there have been points where we've run out of them pretty quickly, but we are going to Darkshore at least, as far as our next step for questing. So we might not need too many bandages. We might be just fine healing and waiting for our mana to come back. I've also been thinking about the possibility of picking up a one-hander and a shield at some point. I definitely want to get to a point where our funds are stable, our bags are pretty maxed out for the most part, and of course our gear is maxed out. But once we start gaining a bit of excess gold, I might want to pick up a sword and a shield, and try that for a bit. I want to see how it affects our survivability. Often, what most people will tell you, and it's true, the best survivability is often just more offense and just dealing more damage in general. Because enemies can't hurt you if they're dead. But I would like to see how big of a difference a shield would make, because we would be getting a brand new stat. Obviously, we're going to be getting a gigantic chunk of armor that's going to reduce our damage taken overall, but we get block chance on top of everything else, and that's going to make a big difference too. So we'll see. At the very least, we should probably be carrying a shield just for if we need to run away. If we're doing nothing but running, it would be nice to take slightly less damage as we do so. I don't think there's anybody else on the docks that we can talk to while we wait. Taking a look at some of the smaller details. There isn't too much here. Oh, oh no, okay. I was going to say there's a book here, but normally these books that look like this and that are that big are typically interactable, but this one is not. Also curious to know if there's anything that's on this boat that's just constantly stationed here and doesn't go anywhere. Not even sure if you can board it or not from that side. It looks like you probably could. I don't think we'll bother. At least not today. It looks like the boat has returned. We've got 1 minute to get to it. Hope you guys have been enjoying today's episode so far. I'm really liking these types of episodes where we get a chance to take a break from the action and just really get into detective mode and take a look at everything that we haven't seen before. It'd be nice to see a bartender on one of these ships at some point. That would be cool. Got some more books that look like they'd be interactable, but are not. It's a cozy little room, though, for sure. But yeah, I hope you guys have been enjoying these types of episodes. I've definitely enjoyed reading some of these books, noticing things that I haven't seen, and making sure that I turn over every stone possible. Alright, we're arriving in Theramore. This is gonna be interesting. Opening music is always excellent, and the sunset here is also pretty incredible. So I don't think we're gonna explore Theramore today. I think I would like to hold off on that a little bit. Let's make sure we pick up the flight path, though.
What can I do?
Check the general goods, I
Good day to you.
suppose. This is a human vendor, and it doesn't look like we've got the discount on those bags. So maybe it is just like very specific named NPCs. Got a bow person over there. I'm looking at a couple of things here and there. I just don't want to get too in depth because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of stuff that we really can't do here. But we'll be back here for some quests at a later date, and then we can do a deeper dive. Looks like Fiora is in the tavern. Let's head inside. Check out the tavern real quick. Looks like she's a high elf. Anything creepy in the basement? I don't think so. Alright, I lied a little bit. We're gonna investigate the tavern just slightly more, just because I'm curious. So far, there's always an Explorers League person in this room. No book this time. Looks like we got a whole family up here, though. Alright, let's speak with Fiora.
I am listening.
Good day to you. You were sent by Mr. Flint in Menethil Harbor? Well, Mr. Flint is a strong judge of character. If he sent you, then there's no doubt you belong here in Kalimdor.
What brings you here?
If you're fresh off the boat from Menethil, then the first thing you should do is go to Astronar. I'm sure an eager member of the Alliance, such as you, can do some real good there. Speak with Shindril Swiftfire and offer your services, but don't bother mentioning who sent you. Shindril does not know me. Interesting. Okay. I mean, she wouldn't. I feel like, because you're a blood elf, probably not going to be too friendly with a night elf. Interesting. So we are not... so it's a breadcrumb for Astronar. Which is interesting. Go to Astronar. Like, how are you supposed to figure out where Astronar... I mean, maybe we can... let's see if we can talk to her again. Maybe she has, like, a tip on, like, you know, how to get to Astronar. No, that's the first breadcrumb I've seen that doesn't tell you how to actually get there. It doesn't even say... I don't even think it says it's in Ashenvale. It just says Astronar. We'll see if that leads to a completely different quest that I've never seen before later on, but... that is very interesting. Yeah, because, like, getting to Astronar is going to be really difficult. I mean, getting out of Theramore and through Dustwallow is going to be, like, almost impossible. It would have been interesting to see if, like... well, we'll hark back to Menethil Harbor, too, so we can catch the boat to Aberdeen, but... It would be interesting if they, like, gave you a flight path, at least to Ratchet. Like, there must be some sort of breadcrumb that I'm missing here that would send Alliance to Ratchet. I feel like that would make sense because, like, at least from there, you can find your way to, you know, through Ashenvale quite easily at that point. And it also opens up the rest of Kalimdor in general. Whereas at level 20, if this is your first experience of Kalimdor from the human or dwarf side, like, you know, I mean, obviously, you can go to Aberdeen, I suppose, but... I suppose the access in general isn't too much different than what the Horde have to deal with the Eastern Kingdoms. It's not like the Horde have easy access to the Badlands. They have to travel quite far to actually get into the middle of the Eastern Kingdom, so I don't know, I suppose it's fair. We're just gonna enjoy the sunset here. And as soon as we land in Aberdeen, I think we'll call it a day from there. So at the beginning of the next episode, we're going to do some more exploration first. We'll start by taking a look at town, you know, seeing all the vendors, maybe reading some books if we find any. I'm sure we'll find something. Aberdeen is also pretty large, especially when it comes to Night Elven settlements. And then there's going to be like 50 quests to pick up, most likely. And I haven't fully decided if I want to pick up the gray quests or not yet. I can't remember if some of them like lead to other stuff that we would actually be able to get experience from. So I haven't decided, but it might be worth it. It might be worth doing a couple of them at least. Like maybe like the ones that are like the Buzzbox ones maybe. Because I think that's a single quest chain if I'm not mistaken. But I'll weigh my options when the time comes to record the next episode. Looks like the boat has returned. I suspect we're not going to find anything on this boat either. I should have checked this boat while we were waiting. Since we can board it, it looks like. But yeah, I wouldn't expect to see too much of a difference here. I suppose we can hang out in our usual chair. Perhaps take a nap. It's getting a little misty in the room. And we've hit that loading screen. Let's get on up. And we've got plenty of grays and forest greens to look forward to. Alright, we are here, and guys, I think that is going to do it for me for today. In the next episode, we begin our campaign through Darkshore. As always, I appreciate you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.